Ron Wyatt wasn't a legitimate archaeologist. So he wasn't licensed, he wasn't credentialed, and he wasn't operating under recognized archaeological standards. And none of his major claims were ever verified by credible archaeology. He said he discovered Noah's Ark, the Red Sea crossing with chariot wheels, the real Mount Sinai, the Ark of the Covenant under Jerusalem, even blood from Yahusha on the mercy seat. And all that sounds impressive, but here's the problem. None of those claims ever passed peer review. Not one was backed by controlled excavation, not one had proper permits, and not one was confirmed by independent experts. Professional archaeologists in Israel, Turkey, and Egypt actually all rejected his work. Even Christian archaeological organizations distanced themselves from him. And that matters because truth doesn't avoid accountability. Now, let's look at his pattern because every time there was some big sensational claim, there was no controlled dig, there was no verifiable data, no published field reports, and no documented chain of custody, just personal testimony. So, in other words, it was just trust me, bro. And that's not archaeology, that's called storytelling. Real archaeology works like this: you document everything, you publish your findings, you allow outside verification, you submit to criticism, you let evidence speak. And Wyatt skipped all of that. He jumped straight to conclusions and wrapped them in spiritual language. But here's the part people miss. Some of the locations that he pointed toward, like possible Red Sea routes or Sinai candidates, are still debated today by real researchers. So those discussions are legitimate. But Wyatt himself mixed those ideas with exaggeration, unverifiable discoveries, and emotional claims that couldn't be tested. And that did damage because he made biblical archaeology look unserious. He gave skeptics an easy out. So, yes, he mixed Bible enthusiasm with fantasy. And people want him to be real because it feels validating. It feels powerful to say, see, we found it. But covenant truth doesn't need theatrics, it doesn't need buried treasure stories. It stands on the text, on structure, on geography, and on evidence. The truth survives scrutiny. Fantasy avoids it. So if you've heard Ron Wyatt and felt uneasy, that's discernment working. You're not attacking faith by questioning him, you're protecting it.